Hello, everybody. My name is Mackenzie Livingston, and I am the Recruitment and Communication Director at Aurora Central Catholic High School. And I am recording this webinar just so you guys know, so I'm going to be able to publish it on YouTube for others to watch who maybe weren't able to join us tonight virtually. But I just wanted to give you a brief overview of what it is that I do. So as the Recruitment and Communication Director, I essentially help families decide if ACC is going to be the right fit for their student for the next 4 years. So that could mean anything from open houses, virtually obviously, that we're doing right now, to the placement exam, registration, other recruitment events and such. So that's kind of what I do. I also do all of our social media as well as any communication that might come from the school to families. So that is everything that I do kind of in an umbrella. And unfortunately, so we did not have school today. ACC was closed, so I'm not able to have any students join us today. So it's going to be a fairly quick presentation, just so you guys know. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but thank you so much for tuning in and being here. I'm actually going to share my screen with you. That way you can see the Prezi presentation that I have put together for you guys. So let me go ahead and open that. Okay, so hopefully you can see this. Let me turn my phone on silent. It's just loading, of course. But again, thank you guys for being here. If you have any questions throughout the evening, please go ahead and either ask me in the chat session or in the Q&A tab. So for those of you who haven't been to ACC before, this is what the outside looks like. Our mascot is the Chargers. So our colors are blue and gold, and we are co-ed. So we have both boys and girls. We have about 500 students in the entire school. However, each class size, we really try to keep it about 19 students. And the reason for that is that kind of tends to be the sweet number, I guess you could say, where students aren't afraid to ask questions, and the teachers also really get to know their students in that small, intimate environment, okay? We are a Catholic school. However, students do not have to be Catholic to go to ACC. We're also a college preparatory educational institution, and I'm going to explain why we are college prep in just a second. But first, I really want to make everybody aware that, you know, whether you are a parent watching this tonight or you're a student, high school is there, or your time, to really choose your path and decide what it is that you want to do with your future, right? So ACC helps you do that in a variety of ways, both outside and inside the classroom. So outside the classroom, we have 19 different sports to choose from. And if we were at ACC doing a real open house, you would receive a physical view book, which I did include as a PDF in the registration confirmation sign up. So for this open house, so hopefully you were able to view that. If not, it is available on our website. But aside from sports, we have 23 different clubs and organizations that students can choose from as well. And the nice thing is that if there is not a club listed on here that you might be interested in doing, it's very easy to start a club where you just gather a couple of friends and also a teacher as a moderator, and you can start a club. So it's really great that that is also an option. And then inside the classroom, we help you kind of experience and choose classes that are either interesting to you or something that you've always wanted to explore, and you're able to take those as electives. So this is a very small sampling of the electives that ACC has to offer throughout your 4 years, including AP classes, which are not listed on here, but we have over 12. And AP classes are those classes that students might choose to take junior and senior year that help them earn college credit. And that way they don't have to take those classes in college, and they also are already that much further ahead in their college curriculum as well. So block scheduling, this is like the most important slide in this whole Prezi presentation, because it is essentially what sets ACC apart from any other school in the Fox Valley area, okay? So block scheduling is where a student takes 4 classes every single day for an entire semester, Monday through Friday, for an hour and a half, all right? Once you finish the semester, after you come back from Christmas break, you then get a brand new set of 4 classes. So this is just what it's like in college. You know, you're only going to take 4 or 5 classes, so that is how we implement the college preparatory curriculum. But this scheduling in itself is so amazing because it really serves two different types of students, okay? So the first person it serves are those who maybe need a little bit of extra time in the classroom to divulge that information and ask questions and really understand the curriculum. The second student it serves are those who maybe want to get ahead and speed up their academic progress. And the way that they can do that is by doubling up in classes. So for example, let's say freshman year, first semester, your student takes Algebra 1, which is a very standard freshman level math class. Second semester, they could take geometry and be done with a sophomore level math class by the end of their freshman year. So that's how we're able to double up students. And you can also do that with science and some other electives as well. And because of that, students then are able to take more AP classes or more electives to earn college credit before they graduate. And I love sharing this example because I know for a fact that a couple years ago, I was sitting at the senior banquet and they always do awards. And one of the awards was given to a student who actually earned their associate's degree because by the time they were a graduated high school student, because they chose to double up in their classes. So that was an incredible opportunity that they chose to take advantage of. Okay. Oops, let me go back really quick. I'm sorry, I forgot to kind of share with you what the day looks like. So each day it starts at 8 and goes until 2:50. You get 5-minute passing periods and 25 minutes for lunch as well. So school, if you want to picture it, since we can't actually be there in person, the first floor is a circle. The second floor is a U with a staircase right in the middle, and then wings on either side with lockers. Okay, so it's really, really, really easy to get around. You're not going to get lost. If for whatever reason you do get turned around or you can't open your locker or something like that, everybody's so kind and genuine that they are more than happy to help you. You can always ask someone to assist you in finding wherever it is that you need to go. Okay, so I do think it's extremely important that when choosing a high school or college, but specifically for what we're talking about, when you go to choose a high school, it's important to find a school that can really serve your student and make sure that they can succeed, they feel at home, and that that school has the resources necessary to get your student to where it is that they need to go. And our main goal, because we are college preparatory, is to get your student to college, or if they choose to go into the military or the workforce, whatever it might be, we want to help them get there, okay? And I want to say that we do have a 100% acceptance rate when it comes to students applying to a 4-year college or university. And the reason that that number is so extremely high is because students have to meet with their counselors every single year, starting freshman year, in order to register for classes for the following year. So those conversations of what interests you, what do you, where do you want to go, what do you want to be by the time this is all said and done, those conversations are happening so early that then the counselors are able to kind of steer them in the correct direction as far as what colleges they should be applying for based on their academic level and success, okay? And then going along with that, unfortunately, I don't have the class of 2020 data yet, just because we weren't able to put into place the data collecting that we typically do because we weren't in session in person. But for the class of 2019, what was recorded is that they earned $9 million in scholarships to the colleges and universities that they attended. And I know for a fact that that's not every single student who has a scholarship money that they did not report. So there is other money floating out there that I know needs to be reported, but for sure, $9 million, which is amazing and incredible. So that's super important to think about. And then lastly, I just want to mention that if your student does choose a different high school, other than ACC in the beginning, about 5 to 10% of our population every year does consist of transfer students. So that is another important statistic to remember as well. We always accept transfers. It's a little bit more difficult junior and senior year, but typically we can make it work freshman and sophomore year. It just kind of, it could get a little bit tricky when it comes to the block scheduling. So we want to make sure that we are checking on that before we agree to accept transfer students. But just wanted to throw that out there so you can keep it in mind. Now for the tuition and financial aid part. I'm going to show you where you can see our tuition and fees. So if you went to our normal website and you hovered over admissions, you could just click on the tuition and financial aid tab, which will bring you right here. And you will notice that our fees for next year actually will be coming out in the next couple weeks, so early November. But right now, what I can show you is the rates for this year. And typically in the past, the trend has been that this number does not exceed more than $200 of an increase in any given year. So I just wanted to, I am allowed to share that with you. I just don't know what the rates for next year will be, but you can pretty much plan that if the trends are looking consistent, that number will not increase more than 200. And since you guys do belong to St. Mary DeKalb or St. Mary Sycamore Parish, you would qualify for the tuition parish rate. Okay, so that number up here does not include any of the fees because the fees are really subject per family and per student. So you can add those in depending on kind of where you fall within that. We have a couple of different class fees as well. However, tuition assistance, I highly, highly encourage every single family, no matter what your financial situation might be, to apply for financial aid. You can do this as early as November 1st, but no later than May 1st. And there really is no set number where we say, you know, if you make above or below this, you will or will not qualify. That number is really based on the amount of aid we're able to provide is really based on the amount of applicants every single year. So this is something that you will apply for every single year because we realize that financial situation changing. Okay, so that is something that you will create an account for just by clicking this NAIS link that my mouse is hovering over right here. You will have the same username and login all 4 years, and you will also upload your tax return. So you can start the application early, get all of your information submitted, at least now, you know, before the holidays kind of get a little bit crazy. And then once you do submit your tax returns in the spring and you get that back, you could just log back in and upload it to be compliant by that May 1st deadline. Okay, so that's how financial aid works here. But one additional really great thing that we offer our families is something called the Student Work Program. A lot of colleges actually do this, and it's a way for students to kind of have a hand in their education. So they can work before or after school during summer or Christmas break or spring break and earn minimum wage that then gets applied toward their tuition bill, which is amazing because it really shows that, you know, sending your students to a private Catholic school is a sacrifice, right? And it's a privilege. And I really think it's important that students realize, like, your parents, you, if you're watching, or your parents are working hard to send you to a Catholic school. So having a hand in your education can really help you appreciate the education that you are receiving and also kind of set you up for success when you go to college, because a lot of, I could tell you, the majority of students in the college world do participate in some sort of student work program that helps pay for their college too. So then you're kind of already ready for it. All right. Now scholarships. I'm going to bring you back to my Prezi just so I could show you because the next slide kind of talks about how you can, I'll come back to the laptops, but how you can earn scholarships. So our placement exam is the only way that you can earn scholarships for freshman year. So by taking it with us on Saturday, December 5th from 8 until noon, we then award the top scoring, typically 6 students on the ACC placement exam based on those results. So this is the only scholarship qualifying date available. We do have an alternative date later in January, but that does not qualify you for scholarships. I do know, I believe I was speaking to the principal, and I take back kind of what I just said because I realized that confirmation for St. Mary's is on this December 5th date. So the principal and myself and Father Etheridge actually worked out a deal where that second alternative date will qualify you guys specifically and you only for the scholarships. So I take back what I said. I usually say that, but for St. Mary's in particular, we are able to offer you that alternate date to earn scholarships, and it is January 9th, I believe. Let me just double check. I'm almost positive it is, but I don't want to give you the wrong date since I know you might be writing it down. Yes, Saturday, January 9th, 2021 at the exact same time. Okay, There is a $30 fee associated with the test. However, you can pre-register your student just by going to our placement exam website and our tab and just click this blue button here, and it will take you directly to the placement exam sign-up form for that. Okay. Then if you haven't already done so, we highly encourage 8th grade students to come and do a shadow day. We are offering those on Tuesdays and Fridays from 8 until 2:50, so the course of the whole day. Lunch is on us. There is a whole confirmation email that you'll get with all the details on what to bring and what to wear and all that good stuff. If you know of a student that you would like to shadow, we can certainly arrange that. If you don't know anybody that attends ACC, I have over 113 student ambassadors to choose from, and so we'll make sure that you are paired up with someone who has similar interests as you. That way you have something in common to talk about with that student. And then lastly, registration takes place at the end of January for your freshman classes. So that's when you will pick those. I did want to go back and talk about technology. So all freshmen will receive the Acer TravelMate Spin laptop their freshman year in the fall. So that is a one-time fee of $420, and once that is paid by your family, it is completely yours to keep forever. You don't have to turn it in at the end of the year. You don't have to turn it in when you graduate. You can bring it with you to college or resell it, whatever it is you want to do. It is yours for the full 4 years. It is a required device that has to be used by every single student. So you cannot bring your own. The only exception is this year, our seniors, because we kind of did this in phases. And so officially next year, we will be full one-to-one where everybody has the same laptop. Okay, so we already talked about that. But lastly, I just kind of wanted to wrap up by saying that as faculty and staff and ACC administration as a whole, we have 3 main goals by the time your students graduate and walk across the graduation stage. And that is providing them with lifelong learning, the option to grow spiritually if that's something that they want to do, and just preparing them for the future in whatever route or path that they decide and whatever caliber that might mean on our end. So it's really important to us that we, uphold the values and instill those in the students so that they're able to take it with them and apply it in whatever it is that they do later on in life. Okay, so if I were able to have students with me tonight, if we were open, I would for sure have them share with you a little piece of their experience and such, but we did actually talk to the St. Mary class, the 7th and 8th grade students a couple weeks ago, so you can ask your students about it, and Greta Cook was able to join us that day, so she was able to kind of share some of her favorite parts about ACC and tips for going into high school, moving from the 7th and 8th grade years. And so feel free to ask them about, kind of what they might have learned and experienced. So thank you all so much. Again, after this webinar, you will receive a thank you email from me, and it will include the link to a virtual tour of the school. You can actually go in and kind of click through each hallway and go into the gym and the library and the cafetorium and such and kind of see your way around school. It'll also provide you with the placement exam sign-up link as well, and also the view book download too. I do see a question. Oh yes, there is a bus to DeKalb. So our routes, I can actually show you right here where you can find them. Parents, and then we have our bus routes right here. So these are our 3 stops. So we stop at St. Mary's DeKalb, St. Mary's in Maple Park, and St. Gall's here in Elburn, which is where I live. So anyway, here are the pickup times and drop-off times as well. Typically, they really don't change much. If they do, like for next year, they might change by like a 5-minute window, but these are pretty standard across the board. And then the payment for those kind of have been changing often as well. Your student will get an ID for the bus too, so you can kind of pick and choose your different payment plans that you want for the bus route depending on what you might need for your family, depending on, work schedules, or if your student decides to play a sport, you might only need it one way. So these are the different fees for this year that are associated with the bus route. And again, you can find that just by going to the parent tab on our website. I'll just kind of hover over it again because I got to it pretty quickly, and then over to bus routes. And if you just scroll down a bit, there's the PDF in there. Good question. Thank you for asking. Any other questions? If not, I will let you guys go. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but if you know of anybody who might have missed us tonight, please let them know that tomorrow afternoon this will go live on YouTube, and I will provide a link on our website for them to rewatch it. Let's see, one more. Okay, I have a chat. Hang on. Oh, you're welcome, Daniel. No problem. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. I hope you have a great night, and we will see you all later. Bye.